Welcome, everyone, to the Insignificants, the oral history of Darling Waste, episode 17. It's time for a brand new album. We're moving on, right? I think, right?
Yeah, and I am so excited to start this. I can't wait to talk about my first thoughts after hearing this for the first time in, 15 plus years.
So my name is Lance. I am here with Jaime, my wonderful co-host. I am digging through my backpack because I have to get my album out.
Listen to those zipper ASMR.
Yeah. I've already spoiled it because you saw it on my Instagram. But I have a storage shed that is roughly 30 minutes from where I'm living right now, and we got last night we got 9 inches of snow. Did you get any of that snow yesterday?
Just a dusting.
Yeah, and neither did Cleveland. It was all like an hour south of Cleveland, and we just got 9 inches. And then last week we got it the weekend we got that huge snowstorm that I was at your place. So I can't get into my storage shed. It's been like plowed in by a snowplow. So instead of doing that, I decided to buy my own album. And so I went on eBay and I bought a copy of the album. The album we were talking about is Manifest Destiny Rebellion, which for most people is the Darling Waste album. So I purchased it and I got it yesterday or the day before, and it is autographed by me, which is so weird.
Were you able to tell from anything on there like who it was for?
No. So my best guess, so we would obviously sign stuff at every show because we weren't popular. And then we actually got like the resellers at our shows because our shows were like free or $5 or $10. Mm-hmm. And I remember several times I'd say, who's it for? And people would be like, oh, no, don't inscribe it, just sign it. And they would take a photo of me signing it. And I'm like, dude, you're wasting your time. My guess is that's what this is, because almost always I write nice things on it, or I at least like put a smiley face or something. I just put just my first name on this, and so did Donnie.
That was Donnie. I couldn't quite tell who that
was. At the top, yeah. And then right next to me, I'm almost positive it's Jeremiah Martinez. It took me a while. Is that going to be backwards for you, or do you know?
Nope, that's okay.
See, it says ART. I'm like, it's art. And then I think the thing below it is an M, and then I think it's a J.
Yeah, so I think I'll go with that because he definitely would have been heavily around you at this time.
Right. So. And then, there's just my fucking first name, which I think, and then, and there's Donnie's first name up there. So I'm thinking that we just weren't into the person that we were signing this for, probably. It's also a weird color. It's not our silver and not our black. It's like a gray color. So I always sign in silver on everything. Yeah. So I'm thinking I usually I signed in the black part of this on silver, and then the rest of the band signed in black kind of around the edges. So I'm thinking that this might have been some kind of scalper type or reseller, or whatever you want to call it. There was a point in time where my signature was worth like exactly $10. And I'm not going to lie, I several times in my lifetime have autographed things and put them on eBay and sold them myself for the $10.
That's okay. I don't think you're alone in that.
As always, please give us a like and follow on Spotify and YouTube, as this helps us reach new people. Drop us a question or leave us a voice note on Instagram. Our Instagram is at Darling Waste. I haven't been checking the comments, but people have been leaving comments on YouTube, so thank you. I'll do better at checking them. But Carl from Ruet Caelum was talking on there.
Oh my gosh, was the singer, right?
Correct. I love Carl because I'm just a psychotic leftist. Like where the left ends is where I start on a lot of my thoughts. And Carl is the only person maybe that I know in my life still that's further left than me. Carl is like, if you get $100,000 in your bank account, I get to eat you. It's kind of like his politics. So he's just wild. He has been just banned from Facebook so many times. So have I. But that kid, every 6 months, he has to re-add because he gets banned.
It was something to have to record his vocals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think, did we give him the dummy microphone that he could swing around and other stuff?
And so he actually wrote in about that. And so because we had made it just a passing comment in one of them that he was crazy with the microphone, and that, you said was, I remember all the crazy things we had to do to get that recorded, and I didn't pick up on it, so that's my fault for not yes-anding you. But Carl said at one point, because I guess he was nervous as well, that you built a wall out of all of your backing stuff, so no one could see him, so he could just go crazy behind the wall without us like staring at him.
We used all the diffusers so that we couldn't see into the live room, and he basically could just do what he needed to do and not be self-conscious. And he had a microphone that was a fake mic that we didn't care about on a cable. We didn't care about that he could swing around. And we actually almost not exactly distance mic'd him, but like mid-distance mic'd him so that as he was moving around, you wouldn't hear his voice get closer or farther away from the mic, because the mic was always farther away from him. And we just accepted that sound.
So thank you for that. If you do hear yourself mentioned on these, feel free to write in or send us a voice note. Okay. So with this new album comes a new period in Darling Waste, but we're a little behind on the timeline. So I would like to continue on the timeline. We will eventually catch this album. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think it's okay to overlap some of the catch up with some of the song discussions, right?
Right. I think so. So this album was recorded in 2004 and 2005, and it was released July 22nd, 2005. So about 18 months after the first record. Not quite a full 2 years.
Definitely one of my favorite recording experiences in all my years of doing stuff was this album. I have a lot of truly fond memories.
Good. I'm excited for you to tell me them, because I don't remember a whole lot about this. I'm sure I will as we begin talking about it. But I was thinking about it. I read the liner notes, and I was like surprised by several things. I'm like, shit, really?
Got my copies out here.
Nice. Oh, good. Yeah, I broke the CD case already because I had to take the backing out to fully read the stuff.
Yep.
So I already it lasted from 2005 to yesterday when I touched it.
It's more that it lasted like one day in your hands. Yeah. That's a pretty good record for anything.
So okay, so before we talk about the song and the album, we're gonna get back into the Wayback Machine. We're gonna go every week we go back and look at a piece of Darling Waste history. So I believe right now we are following along the timeline of my live journal posts on the old darlingwaste.com, post on 1034.com, and post on perfectbluerecords.com, Wayback Machine, to try to piece together what we're doing week by week. So I believe last time we left off, it was mid-2003. July 1st, signed Skanktronics. They announced that they were signed by 1034. That is it for the month of July. August 23rd, there was a 1034 Records showcase at the Pirates Cove with Saving Adonis, Delay, IMperfect, the Skanktronics, the Merkurs, and Johnny Psycho. Nice. That is the most 2003 Lance put this show on ever. I believe it was called the Girls vs. Boys show.
And honestly, probably a hell of a good show.
Yeah, we had Saving Adonis, the Merkurs, and IMperfect with all female vocalists, Delay, the Skanktronics, and Johnny Psycho. I remember this poster. I'll post the poster on Instagram this week. It was this weird anime poster for no apparent reason that we just found an anime thing and copied it. It was a really fun show. It was a good time. So I don't have a whole lot about that. But and then October 13th, the Ruet Caelum announcement. Creating a huge buzz around Cleveland, Ruet Caelum is taking the local music scene by storm with their own brand of unapologetic rock. Citing influences such as At the Drive-In Thursday and Taking Back Sunday, they are making something that sets them apart from the music that fills the city. After just 2 shows, Ruet Caelum was picked up by 1034 Records, and given the chance to take their music to a whole new level, they are set to begin recording their highly anticipated debut in December at Metrosync Studios with Jamie Lustig from the Margot Catcher Engineering and Lance Williams from Darling Waste Producing. They are planning on releasing the album currently titled My Pen is a Detonator, or My Penis, a Detonator, in the early months of 2004 and touring next spring.
I remember, I never went to their early shows, but I just remember hearing like how insane they were in terms of the energy and the way they could whip up a crowd, and that was just very unique.
Yeah, they were very much in that Thursday, Every Time I Die, like just the crowd goes nuts from the first note they hit. They're in the crowd. Everything's bananas.
Yeah, nobody cares if they hit a single right note.
Right.
Yeah.
I've always loved that shit. So let's see. October 24th, I announced that we moved into Strangelove Studios to practice. And our new lineup is me, no shit, right? It actually says that.
Nice.
Acoustics, electrics, and piano. Jeremiah from the 5th of October, so his name has changed to the 5th of October now from whatever we were calling it the last time. Acoustics and piano. Adam from Strangelove on Studios on bass. Dan from the Skanktronics was drumming for us.
Wow.
That had to last one fucking week because I do not recall that in any way. We had a lead guitarist, but it didn't work out. You can just copy paste that over the next 30 years of my life. We had to pull out of the Peabodies show tomorrow. You can copy and paste that for the next 30 years of my life. I promise we will play out soon. We just want it to be good. But everyone should still come out because our friends, the Margot Catcher and the 5th of October, are still playing. You were playing a show at 5th of October on October 25th, 2003. It was at Peabodies.
On this little side stage.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember.
You remember that? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys played the side stage that night.
Yep.
And then I threw a show on the main stage that was a ska show with the Skanktronics. So here's the review I have of this show. Sad news indeed. The show last night ended up being the last Skanktronics show of 2003. The lead singer, the guitarist and singer Jake, is off to rehab in Idaho for a minimum of 2 months. Therefore, there aren't going to be any able to book any shows for the rest of the year. After the 2 months, it will be Jake's decision if he wants to come back or not. But we all hoping he makes the choices that are best for him. We at 1034 Records are pulling for him and hope for full rehabilitation. Along with the sad news of Jake leaving rehab, roadie Jordan Jaster is under house arrest for a month by order of the juvenile delinquency magistrate after being attacked by his own father and fighting back in self-defense. So
I was going to say they're all minors, including Jake going to rehab.
So I don't think that show went great.
Side stage was probably okay.
Yeah, you and Jeremiah probably did fine.
I quite positive that no member of the Margot Catcher needed a rehab after that.
Went to rehab or got put on probation after that show. So there you go. October 26th, the next day, I just put money down on a sword. I get it into next week. As soon as I get it, I'll take a picture of you for you guys to check it out.
Do you still have the sword?
Fuck yeah, I still have the sword. I have like 5 swords. And I'm not even like a sword person. I'm not like, I don't think they're cool. I mean, probably then that one I thought was probably pretty cool. Kill Bill was it in 2003, so I'm sure that's what was going on.
Do you think that's what the Second Amendment's really about? Is like bearing swords and not firearms?
Maybe, right? But like, I don't know why. Like, I like swords, but not in the nerdy, I think they're cool and it makes me cooler way. I just like swords. Like, I want to stab things with swords. I like big knives. They're giant knives.
Yeah, like I like setting things on fire. It's just, you know, right.
Okay. October 28th. Oh, wait, no. This is, okay, here's a full-on review of the show for you and Jeremiah. Wow, what an amazing show last night. For starters, we had about 20 more people than was expected, and about 60 more than the club expected, which is always a good thing. Because Darling Waits couldn't play, I ended up opening the night by jumping on the piano and performing Change of the Seasons. I got Jeremiah from the 5th of October and Katie from the Merkurs to get up on stage with me and sing along. And some kids in the island sang along too, which blows my mind since the album isn't even out until November. I miss playing out and can't wait to get the swing of things, blah, 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 blah. Jeremiah did an acoustic performance of the 5th of October music. It was amazing. Everyone was floored. He has an amazing voice. He did a few on acoustic and did a few on piano. And this blows my mind. Jeremiah covered a song by Brand New on piano. And I can't imagine him knowing them. It had to just be because he listened to them with me. Like he listened to like Christian 90s rock. Like
yeah.
So me and Katie Merkur, hopped back up on stage and helped out with backup duties at the end. We got the whole crowd to sing "They're Just Jealous" because we're young and in love. Next up was the Margot Catcher. This is my first opportunity to see them as a full band. I lived with Jamie while she was writing a lot of the album, so it was cool to see her live. The album is great, and the live performance was great.
Well, okay. Thanks for being a fangirl for me. And I imagine that it was not great. Our band was very loose live, and that was okay. We were just having fun.
Then came Ruet Caelum. What can I say about these kids? They tore the place up. I cannot wait to work with them, and we can actually hear Carl's vocals this time. I have a live bootleg of the show. If anyone wants to give me money, I will stab them all in the back by illegal copying it. And then on the main stage was the Mad Ones and the Skanktronics and some other ska bands. So see you at the next 1034 Presents show. Do you remember playing that show at all? Like anything from Margot Catcher?
I do. I mean, nothing like super specific, but I think it's the only time I did a Margot Catcher show at that venue. I very much remember being on the stage, looking out from that side stage there. It was cool because I'd been to shows there. So always a neat experience to play on the stage of a place you've seen concerts at.
Right. That's cool. That's awesome. Yeah. So my mother heard, we are currently, so people who don't know, we're currently 3 episodes ahead right now when we're recording. So the feedback we're getting is kind of older, I guess, as you're listening to this. My mother confirmed that she was at that LGBTQ show where your band played and I opened.
Yeah, that
solo.
Doesn't surprise me.
She had a really crazy memory. That was the first time I ever played Tour Vans. I had just wrote it, and I said, I just wrote this, because she remembers it being like, fuck, this next album's going to be better than the first one. That song's really good. She still remembers that. So nice. I thought that was pretty nice. And she said, she also said that she just kept looking at how I looked at you playing and how you looked at me playing and was like, oh, they're going to date. She was like, oh shit.
Well, not far off.
So I thought that was pretty funny. She's like, I was just like, oh man, they are really watching each other perform.
Yeah. So well, we're still to this day pretty into each other.
Absolutely. So I announced that we're recording the 5th of October's album and Ruet Caelum's album in December. A couple days later, I announced that Saving Adonis is no longer with us. And that Tina, who I think they had 2 singers, was going to go to college and they were breaking up. So I said, best of luck in everything they do. And then I forgot about this. We now have a window display for 1034 at the Phantasy. Because they had those front things. So if you're ever driving down the Phantasy in Detroit, come check out our 1034 window display. I totally forgot that was a thing that I used to do. That's wild.
It's like Macy's during Christmas. You've got your own display there.
Right. Yeah, I think it was just coming soon, Darling Waste album. And so November 22nd, the Grog Shop, the Margot Catcher with Annie E. DeChant. Do you remember that show?
I do remember that show. That's the one where I made my infamous attempt at a sports joke in a grunge bar, right. And it was just crickets chirping.
Annie E. DeChant, like a famous, I guess she was Cleveland, right? Yeah. A famous, our Ani DeFranco kind of person.
Yeah.
And yeah, you rocked a sports joke.
Yeah, it did not go over well. But I do remember that show. There was also very few people in the audience, at least when we played. Yeah. And I think that was the only time I've played the new Grog Shop, because in college, my college band, we played the old Grog Shop all the time, which I love and have so many good memories of. I was just telling my wife some over the weekend. So it was hard being in the new Grog Shop. It wasn't the same.
I've seen some of my absolute favorite shows in the original Grog Shop as well.
Yeah.
I loved that stage. I loved everything about that place.
I think you played on that stage quite a bit with your high school band,
right? Twist, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I do remember being in high school, because I obviously had a big love for Peabodies because they let fucking anybody play there. So all my friends' bands played there. I played there. But they just had great underground ska punk shows at the Grog Shop. And I just remember they had a pool table about 2/3 of the way back in the crowd. And I just remember always getting up on the pool table and stage diving reverse backwards into the crowd. And it just got bananas in that bar sometimes.
So good.
Okay. November 29th, Delay releases their album. They have a CD release show at the Olmsted Falls Community Center, the OFCC, with the Merkurs, How About No, Cattywampus, and Johnny Psycho. It's a $2 show, which that's insane, even by that. I do remember this show. This show was one of the most bananas local shows. They had 300 people, and there was no stage, so you just couldn't see any of the bands. The guitarists were like crowd surfing around, and it was just insane.
It's everything you want for a local show.
It really was. I remember standing in the back and be like, this scene is getting fucking insane. Just crazy. December 1st, we announced the album. After 3 long years of recording, Darling Waste's debut CD, The Truth About Lies, is about to release to the public. December 5th, 2003, the 1034 Records hoodies are now available on our store. So I'm really proud of that. I love them. I kind of want to remake them, but I don't think I would sell one. But I love them so much. The hoodies are dark red, maroon, with the 1034 Records logo in deep yellow and brown. So yeah.
Yeah, there was a very like Cavs sort of color scheme, right?
Yes. Yeah, we were definitely wine and gold. December 8th, I went to all this shit is happening like every 3 days. Massive shit's happening. December 8th, I went to Nashville with Bray to decide if we wanted to move there. We hated it, and we came back. This is when we're starting to think about New York. December 11th, basically through Christmas, you and I are recording Ruet Caelum. And that takes us basically to the end of the year. We record the Ruet Caelum album.
Second to last day of the year, Claire is born, 2003.
Oh, wow. I'm putting that on my timeline.
Yeah, we thought she might actually be the first baby of the year. We were all excited for free diapers, but she came a little early.
A week after that, a week after Christmas, a week after Claire, I buy the big blue van. So I buy a van.
I have memories of that van.
The van says, I got it really cheap because in Ohio, you have to disclose if a dead body has ever been in a van. And it was a morgue van at one point. So
I'm really glad you're telling me now and not then, because I would not have gone on tour with you then.
We cleaned it. And then, after that, it wasn't before it came to us. It then went to a house cleaning place. Because if you remember, the van said house cleaning on the side of it really big when we bought it. And then I thought it'd be really funny to change it to hoe cleaning. So I drove around.
Which is still funny to this day.
And then we took the C off eventually. It just said "ho leaning" for like a year. Everywhere we went, our van said, and we're like, "Why do we get pulled over so much?"
Yeah, I know this is not like the tour conversation, but oh my god, the stories about that van and that first tour and the things you did do it.
It's a wonderful van. January 22nd, we signed Henry James. 1034 is happy to announce the recent addition of Henry James to the 1034 family. Henry is an exceptional, talented artist whose new album will release on 1034 Records. So we got our, I feel like at the time I was doing we got our Thursday and, I'm our Dashboard Confessional. That was our Bright Eyes. We had our eccentric poet guy.
Yeah.
I was definitely trying to collect the Cleveland version of the band that I liked. Ruet Caelum played a show at Pitt Cleveland. John broke my fucking camera. I am recording. Okay, this is January 24th. I'm recording 3 new tracks with Andy from Stabbing West around February 1st. I don't know what we'll do with them yet. Maybe compilations, maybe an EP, maybe an album for next year. So this is the beginning of the second record.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think. We're doing soundtrack for a local film, I think, too. I guess not. So we started recording the album in February of 2 months after the first album came out.
Yeah,
we're jumping back in the studio.
Well, you just had new songs that needed to come out.
Right. True. This is one of my favorite shows ever. February 13th, Pirates Cove, Darling Waste headlined, Ruet Caelum, the Margot Catcher, This City's Silence, which is Donnie's band, Friendship for Style, and Ruet Caelum. So the only reason I know about this show is from some other kid's live journal that said, I went and saw Darling Waste, Ruet Caelum, the Margot Catcher, This City's Silence, Friendship for Style, and Ruet Caelum.
Yeah, I feel like, and I could be wrong, but I feel like this might be the show where when the headliner decided not to play, that we called a bunch of other bands to fill out the lineup.
Okay, that makes sense. That could be it. Yeah. I just remember I got in trouble because I got on stage and there was a lot of, not a lot of people, but a decent amount of people. And I said, there's a Screwdriver CD in the jukebox in the back. The first person who can bring it to me gets a T-shirt.
Oh, no.
Because they were a Nazi band, and I wanted it to be ripped out. And I think I said that. And the guy from This City Silence just turned around and kicked through the jukebox. Dan Cole still brings it up years and years later that I told someone to break his fucking jukebox.
Well, he shouldn't have had that CD in it.
Yeah, exactly.
Natural consequence.
Yeah. So someone did bring me that CD. I'm like, oh, we're in so much trouble. I think I got banned. Dan also likes to say that I've been banned from Peabodies more than anybody else. He has lifetime banned me at least 3 times. So that was one of the times that Dan lifetime banned me, I believe. March 10th, Johnny Psycho gets signed. We signed Johnny Psycho. Mm-hmm. They're going to Metrosync Studios to record Nightmares in Technicolor in April. March 16th, we released Henry James's album. You didn't do that one, right? That was mostly.
I don't think so. Yeah.
Yeah. March 23rd, Chain of Seasons enters its 7th week at number 1 on 88.1 in Akron, which is insane. And then we're going to stop there because coming up, we are now into April, is the hold on. We opened the store during this time too, which we talked about in April.
So you'd probably already been operating the cart in the mall, but this is where you then got the storefront property.
Yeah, and then April 23rd, we played with the Suicide Machines, who I just love, from Detroit, Johnny Psycho, Ruet Caelum. The very next night, April 24th, we played with you again, the Margot Catcher, and Collecting Dirt at Pitt Cleveland.
Mm-hmm. And I remember that because that's the show that Andrea sang backing vocals for Margot Catcher during.
Yeah, and so I'm still friends with the singer of Collecting Dirt, who remembers that show very well as well. And then, so we played Peabodies on April 23rd, Pitt Cleveland April 24th, April 25th, surprise acoustic show, Pirates Cove, Lance Waste, Henry James, 5th of October, Andy Cook of Johnny Psycho. So apparently we just ran up inside of Peabodies and played again. The only thing I remember about that show is before the crowd came in, we learned the Johnny Cash, When I Was Just a Young Man, whatever that song's called. And there's 4 verses. We got to go verse and played that, and Andy played drums, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
So I do remember that. Then, for no reason, Johnny Psycho booked a show, or they had already booked a show, down in Ray County, Tennessee, in Dayton, Tennessee. They had family there, and it was Ray County Gay Days. And they had told someone that they could play 2 hours worth of music, and they could not. So he said, if we could take your van, you can play. So with no warning, me, Henry James, and Johnny Psycho played a 3-band show. That was our first out-of-state show ever. It was at Ray County Gay Days in Dayton, Tennessee.
Oh, my gosh.
The very next day, this must have been a weekend, we came back. I do not recall the name of the place. I think it was like a Swings and Things, though. Us and Johnny Psycho and Delay. And this was full band. Because I remember Jeremiah being there. And the bass player, Adam. And I think Andy was playing drums at that point for that weekend. We played an outdoor Swings and Things in the pavilion. And we got like free go-karts and free ride. It was really fucking weird. And I guess they just did that every Saturday or Sunday or something. They're like local bands play.
Oh my gosh, yes, that was out on the west side.
Yeah. Do you remember that?
Oh, I do remember that.
Were you there?
I was there for that.
Okay.
I maybe just hanging out, or maybe I was
when no one was there.
Time.
Do you remember this?
Yeah. Literally.
Because they talked it up really big. Delay did, and said, "Hey, the guy who owns it, and every Sunday we have this huge thing." So we came out to it, and it was us, Johnny Psycho, and Delay, and no one.
Yeah, I remember this little pavilion. I don't know if I was playing with you at that point or just hanging as your roadie or something.
Yeah,
but
yeah. And I totally forgot about that until I read that. I'm like, and all I put on my live dream was like, played a fucking putt course today with Johnny Psycho and Delay. I'm like, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I remember the go-kart track there.
Yeah, and it was kind of like, I think it was kind of raining, and the guy was like, sorry, It was raining, no one came or something.
Yep.
Yeah. Then the next weekend, and I remember this now, but I'm like, I had no remember of this. Darling Waste and Johnny Psycho and a band called Fair Verona played Pitt Cleveland, and then the next next day played in Pittsburgh at some show. So it's like, I thought our first tour was our first ever out of town, but we played I would never guess that Dayton, Tennessee was our first ever out of town show. And then Pittsburgh, which makes sense. And then the final thing we'll mention before June of 2004, May 28th, because this is a big one timeline wise. Cleveland Music Awards, May 28th at the Cleveland Agora with the Misfits. That's where Johnny Psycho won Artist of the Year, Newcomer Artist of the Year or something, Best New Artist. And I wore the purple suit and did my fake Suge Knight impression and got up on stage, and everyone had their hoodies on and said, if you want to be a real band in Cleveland, you come to 1034. And Donnie's like, fuck that guy. And everyone got really mad, and I don't think anybody got that I was doing a bit. For the record, I was doing a bit. We talked about it before. It was a bit from, I believe, the BET Awards when the East Coast West Coast shit started. That's what started it. Was every time Snoop got on stage, the East Coast rappers booed him in New York. And then Suge Knight came up on stage and said, if you want to get with a real label without your producer dancing in the background, come to Death Row. And that started all that shit. So I was just doing a bit.
Yeah.
And I got this weird reputation.
You were just too culturally ahead of everybody. They didn't get it.
And I got that, but I got this weird reputation of being this like wannabe gangster dude in Cleveland, which then I just kept leaning into. I'm like, sure. Yep.
Instill fear into their hearts. Best way to move albums.
And then we will stop here because on June 1st, we get the keys to the 1034 Club.
Oh, so excited.
So we will stop there. And then our first tour date is June 17th. So next week, we'll talk about the tour. Finally, we've been teasing it since the dawn of this thing.
I know.
So our first tour, spoilers, we tried to book a national tour for our first ever tour. Real stupid, but we'll talk about it. It lasted 1/4 of the time it was supposed to last, I think. You ready to talk about This Is Not a Song?
Yeah, the lead-off track from the Manifest Destiny Rebellion, album number 2.
Super hype. So yeah, head on over to Spotify or probably YouTube and check out the song. It's called This Is Not a Song. It is the intro track off of the record. You can listen to it, and then when you come back, we will chop it up and talk about it. So welcome back. We have our stuff up. So the song we're looking at, This Is Not a Song. Yep. By the way, this album turns 21 years old this year, which is
amazing.
Bananas. At least for this album, this might be a moot question. Did you remember this song before you listened to it?
Oh, absolutely remembered this song.
Like
and yeah, I think the whole record will be like that. And my body's anticipation of the drums for Learn to Be Happy as I was listening to like, it's so embedded in my soul.
We will talk about it a little bit more when Do We Play It Live, but it's funny because after a while we stopped playing Learn to Be Happy live. We just didn't like playing it anymore. Mm-hmm. And people would complain if we played This Is Not a Song and then go into something else. Every now and then someone would be like, I was really thinking Learn to Be Happy was coming up. I didn't realize that everyone just thinks of it as an intro for that song specifically and not just a song itself.
Although we were careful with the key, though, so that they would work together.
True. That is true.
Although you only write in 2 keys anyway, so I guess it's not that hard.
Very true. So for this one, for this album, we didn't do a song by song who played what. It's all just like for the album.
Yeah, because there's actually very little variation on it.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Yeah, other than drums and strings, you and I played 100% of the instruments on it.
And you played almost everything, it looks like.
Yeah, well, and I don't know how much we want to talk about recording process this versus later episodes. But
it's fine.
Well, yeah, I think one of the coolest things that we'll want to talk about is this is really the first and only album where we did true proper pre-production, where we did demos of every song, and then we fleshed out the demos and played around with arrangements and wrote parts and other stuff before we then went back and recorded drums. So it was very, very neat to see how this album came together because we really were very thoughtful.
Yeah, and it's the best album in my catalog, so maybe we should have done that more. I don't know.
Yeah,
If anyone could have reined me in. Okay, so you ready to just take a listen? Song's only a minute and 15 seconds. Okay, so I'm gonna stop it there before I start singing. First off, my first impression is we upped the production value. Like, it just sounds so much better, so much faster. The edits, the chops, the extra stuff going on. What is that kind of what you're thinking? Or
so actually, when I first put it on, I was like, oh man, we did another like instrumental type thing to open an album. I'm gonna hate this, and I didn't at all. It was nothing but wonderful memories listening to this album again.
Now, here's the only really stupid part of this song. Do you know what that helicopter sound is at the very beginning of that album? Do you remember what that is?
Oh gosh, I don't remember where we got that sound from.
I do. Here it is again. So that's sound. So you know when the bass note comes in, or before I sing the boom, that is that note pitched down like 2 or 3 more octaves because I wanted someone to shit themselves if the album was played on a big enough speaker.
The brown note.
It's really what it is. Yeah, I had heard about the brown note, and I came to you and was like, let's see what the lowest frequency we could possibly get and turn it up as loud as we can at the very beginning of this album, so if it ever gets played at like a festival or something, everyone will just shit themselves. Or like in Germany at a club or something.
The most darling waste thing ever.
Where I'm the least, we're so sincere, and I'm the biggest dickhead. But that's what that sound is the very high clipping sounds of the wave from 2 octaves, 3 octaves lower.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. So, and I've never heard of anyone shitting themselves while listening to this album. But who would say? Why would you tell
only
someone?
Shitting themselves with joy.
So first off, your production's so good. The edits are so good. The stutters, the things you chose to stutter, the panning, all so good. The vocal recording sounds great. The delays and stuff sound great. I will say
what microphone we probably use, I would think would be just like a Rode NT1 for this album.
Most
maybe.
Likely. Yeah, that probably sounds right. Yeah, that would be my guess. One thing that is weird for me hearing it. So spoilers, we have done this song live 8,000 times. We take it so much slower live and put so much more between each of me singing that I'm like, oh my God, they are rushing the hell out of this song.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. All right.
So actually, I just realized we used a Neumann KM140 small diaphragm orchestral recording mic for your vocals on this. It just dawned on me what I would have used. Now, there's similar ones that will come up, but the 140 is specifically a interchangeable capsule orchestral mic.
Yeah, I always thought it was weird that you use this mic. It's such a tiny microphone compared to all the gigantic vacuum mics and shit that you have.
Well, and I didn't at the time. So actually, the Rode NT1, if I even had it at that point, was probably one of the only large diaphragms I had, which would have been okay. But I had tested this on vocals, and I still, to this day, it's one of the best vocal mics that people wouldn't think to use because small diaphragm mics aren't typically used for it, but has worked great in the arsenal.
Where did you get this microphone?
So in college, one of my professors who worked for Telarc Records and who had prior worked in other stuff, he was the engineer who recorded a bunch of the Winger albums and did tons of stuff. Paul Blakemore was his name. He had a matched set of these that he used to use and use them on film shoots and all sorts of stuff. And he was downsizing his collection. And so I bought myself these because they were versatile enough to do orchestra, piano, acoustic guitar, electric guitar amp, vocal, and I mean, they're still just phenomenal mics that I got way too cheap for what they're worth.
And this is not a song, and this is not me singing. This is just an open letter, this is me apologizing. And this is not a song, these are
That's the intro song. Just 4 stanzas. Justin always makes fun of me because I have so many notes on my Jesus Christ, I can't think of anything. Song list when we go play, right?
Your set list?
Set list. I was like, track list is not it. Yeah, set list. I have the other bands that we're playing with, the promoter's name on there, the venue, the place we're playing, because I will forget all of that shit on stage. So I have a whole column of things to not forget to say. And then by each song, I have little notes as well. And so by this song, every time we've ever played it, I have the last 4 words of the first, or the last word of each of the 4 lines. So I'll say this is not a song, and it'll say like, melody, lyrics, singing, words, because the song repeats weirdly, 4 times.
Yep.
So I never can remember live which one I've already said and which one I haven't yet. So for years I still have to cheat every time I sing this song to make sure that I don't say the same thing 3 times or something. So yeah, I knew I wanted an intro track. I think almost every Darling Waste record, except for like maybe 1 or 2, has an intro track. I didn't want to do another instrumental because we'd just done that on the last record. So I just thought it'd be really funny that our first song on the album is called This Is Not a Song. I repeated again on the next album with a song called This Record Will Just Start Skipping. So this is just something that I think is funny, is to start an album off with things that make you go, oh, fuck, what is this?
Again, nothing could be more Darling Waste than you being an asshole to your listeners.
Right. So, I want to give you the experience. And so then it kind of, it came from there songwriting wise. It's like, all right, if I start off a song saying this is not a song, then what is it? And I wanted it to be very personal and very intimate. So it's like, these songs aren't for you guys. It kind of sets up the thesis for the record, is like, this is an apology record. This is about a breakup, and this is a personal thing, right? So I kind of wanted to set up the thing from that. Also, I don't know if we talked about this yet, because it wasn't on purpose, but some interviewers have brought this up, or reviewers. I thought it was interesting. Is we're called Darling Waste, and then the first album is The Truth About Lies, and then Manifest Destiny, Rebellion. And I've had that question, like, did you do that on purpose, where it's like positive, negative, positive, negative, positive, negative? I'm like, no. Fuck. Yeah, no. So that's that continued this trend with calling it the Manifest Destiny Rebellion, running away from what you're supposed to be doing. What are your thoughts for this minute-long song? I
didn't have any issues with it. Honestly, I was like, yep, this is what I remember. I'm totally fine if I did it today. It totally works, and it makes me learn to be happy to come in. So that did its job.
Yeah, so for me, this song actually, I actually get a little sentimental about this song because it's not a song. It's only a minute long. This song bought us so much, has bought us so much credibility over the years. This song is a fucking fantastic opening song for a live band. And we used to play with backing tracks so the band could come on during it.
That's such a professional feel,
Yeah, and so the song will start and have all that echoey stuff, and then the guitarists, if they have wireless, will hit that. We would play it. I don't know if the song is in D. It probably isn't, but live we play it in D. Because we usually go into Sorry If It Matters now instead of that. And so, they would just hit the open D and come out and wave, and, the Donnie would come out, or whoever was drumming would come out and, just start giving cymbal splashes and stuff. And I'd come out and go, what the fuck's going on? We're called Darling Waste. And we're cheering. I go, this is not a song, and it just was such a great intro. And it really, early in our career, and honest to God, our whole career, whenever we were opening or playing with other bands, it really would set us apart as a professional looking band, because we just had this thing that, and a lot of times I wouldn't say we're Darling Waste. I would just come out and just start singing. And then I'd say, this is simply me saying sorry to a girl. What the fuck is going on, everybody? We're called Darling Waste from Cleveland, Ohio. This song's called Sorry Even That, and just go right to the next song or whatever, and it was just like, oh shit, the show's starting, like these guys are fucking serious. So for years and years and years and years, this was our always default opening track.
Do you ever bring it back later in your career?
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. We almost never stopped playing it.
Oh, okay.
So when we used to open with it, I would say from the second we started playing it until maybe probably, honest to God, I think probably oh my God, I don't remember the name of our albums. The England album, Good and Bad Angels.
Good and Bad Angels, yeah.
Yeah. I think it wasn't really until Good and Bad Angels that we really stopped doing that first, because Sorry If It Matters. So I think on the first couple tours, Sorry If It Matters was the last song that we played every night. It was like our closer. And the next song we're talking about next week, Learn to Be Happy, was our opener. And we used Learn to Be Happy as our opener for years. And so we wanted to bump Sorry If It Matters up. So we just took Sorry If It Matters, especially once we wrote Better I Swear, Completely Buried, No Truer Life. Once those songs came out, those were our closers, like for sure.
Yeah.
They still are. So Sorry If It Matters got bumped from closer to opener. And we bumped Learn to Be Happy off. So this is not a song when Sorry If It Matters. And then towards the late stages of our career, we started opening for years. We opened with Another Year Alive off of Say the Words. That was we just came out and made some noise and went, ba, 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 whoa. And everyone's like, oh, same thing. It's just like, it was written to be an opener. And we were opening with Samsara for a long time too.
I can see that.
Bad Angels.
Boy, I remember with Samsara, when we talk about that, boy, we went back and forth. We were in different cities, but back and forth one night with guitar sounds and guitar parts and mix.
I never liked that.
Yeah, same.
We kept it, but it was just so many repetitive notes. But everything else we wrote just took away from it. So
yeah, I remember that night was so hard.
But yeah, so anyway, this is not a song. Started out the top of the show, and then Sorry If It Matters bumped up there, and then it's always followed Sorry If It Matters around. And for the last several years, Sorry If It Matters was our like fifth, sixth song on the set. We called it a reset song. We'd come out and do 3 or 4 fast songs, then a ballad or two, and then show part 2 would come in. And so after changing the seasons, it would be This Is Not a Song, Sorry If It Matters, is kind of like where it ended up living its life towards the end. But no, even on the 20th anniversary shows last year that I did acoustically, I came out and had a keyboard with like a infinite delay pedal thing on it, and would put on organ and layer a couple things and hit my guitar and go, this is not a, so I was actually doing it live last year acoustically. Cool. So yeah, no, absolutely. It's had a very, very long life. It's probably one of the top 10 songs we've played the most, which is ridiculous, but
it's so funny for this song.
Yeah, I bet you it probably is. I bet you it's for sure I'll Be Fine, Tour Vans. Those are the number 1 and number 2 for sure. There's hardly a show where those 2 don't get played. But it's probably in the group right below that, I would say, with Sorry If It Matters and things like that. So yeah. Okay. Not a whole lot to say about this one, right? It's the intro track. I'm excited to be here. I'm excited to talk about this record.
Also, how refreshing compared to Truth About Lies, where we were like dogging on every song, and now like it's Manifest, which means we're gonna like be happy in this podcast for a couple episodes.
I was actually looking at the list, and I told my wife, I'm like, there are only 2 songs on the entire record that I don't fucking love, that I won't say this is the best I ever did. Like this is there's songs that I really love off of the other albums, but as far as an album, there's only 2 songs on this whole record that I don't
see if I can
absolutely
pick those
love.
out. 10, I Love You Get Away From Me. Is that one of them?
Nope, I love that song.
Life Is So Rad.
Yeah. I just forget about it. We never played it live.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to think what else.
No, it's a Learn to Be Happy.
Learn to Be. Oh, right. You've got some regrets. Yeah,
because
the major key part is that I don't know. We'll get there next week.
But yeah, and then it's a Murderer's Row for Darling Waste.
Oh, it's a classic album.
Yeah, Drive Away, Chance Seasons, I'll Be Fine are 3 of our top 10 biggest songs. Illicit Demands made us just so much money. Sorry If It Matters is one of our biggest songs of all times. Tour Vans is one of our biggest songs of all times. Life Is So Rad, not so much. I Love You Get Away From Me, we've played that a just a trillion times. Blind and Screaming is one of our top 10 songs. This is almost a greatest hits record for us. And then This Apology should be a hidden track, but it somehow is on here as track 12.
Well, and like, I think we knew it. I feel like we knew it at the time we were recording and we finished it, that we were really proud of this.
Yeah, absolutely. No, and this is the beginning of me just thinking I'm fucking awesome. Well, I don't know. I think I've always thought I'm awesome, but this is where
a lead singer needs that.
I feel like we really backed it up. When this album came out, there was like, you couldn't tell me nothing. Like I'm like, no, we're fucking the best band in the world. Are you kidding me? Like, and it was a cool time because this is 2005. This is right after My Kim Broke and Thursday and all those type of bands, and we were getting to play with a lot of those kind of bands, and they were accepting us, and some fruits of our labors in the last couple of years of writing and stuff. So it's a really fun time. All right, cool. So let's do the questions. Also, if you think that these questions don't make sense moving the second album, we can also can them later too. Sure. Because I feel like we're gonna be like, yeah, we're happy on like all of it. So maybe there's different questions we can ask. I don't know. Yeah. So the song, as far as songwriting goes, Throw It Away, demo, album cut, single, or classic?
I'd say album cut.
It's definitely not a single, obviously. It's tough because I have this whole prism of, so we used to say this thing, and it's true, and it's not me being a dick. People would say, is your band famous? That was a question I got asked for a billion years, right? Are you famous? And I would say, no. No one has a clue who we are, but you can book us anywhere in the world, and 25 people will come out. So are we famous? I don't know. Like, we're not ever going to fill up a place, but I guarantee you next week, if we played in Paris, 25 Parisians come out because they've heard of us. Like, that's just, and if we play in Louisiana, 25 Louisianans come out and they enjoy us, that's where we were at the height, was, and then we were able to open for larger bands because we had enough draw that they knew people would be excited to see us, and we'd have some people who would come out and that kind of thing. That being said, this is not a song. It's one of those songs. I know if there's 25, 30 kids there, and I know if I hit the first note, they're going to lose their shit. And I go, this is not, everyone's like, oh, fucking darling, so it's tough to be like, this is a fucking classic for me because I know what it does to people, and I've enjoyed that euphoric experience for like 20 years.
It's a fan favorite.
For sure. It's almost like a calling card because it's the first song you hear on our biggest album. So by default, it's like a big song, right? Like, even if it wasn't,
I think
it's the first song you hear when you press play.
The Matthew Good Band album, Beautiful Midnight, when they have the
cheerleaders,
ostensibly the high school cheerleaders, doing
CICK,
right? Like that's just like epic, and the guitar squeal that comes in there, and it's just like, fuck yes, right? Like, this is that for you, and that's cool.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, what do you think of the recording? Give up, re-record, remix, remaster, good as is, or actually happy?
So this is where it's going to get a little harder territory for me because of my hearing loss.
Bad.
So life. But so on my other laptop, I have the audio balance skewed toward my bad ear to try and get some semblance of actual hearing both sides, and sometimes I have to reverse my headphones. And then so now I'm just listening on little shit earbuds, and I will say it's fine. Could I remix it differently? Maybe not now because of my hearing issues. I'm not sure. That's a confidence thing, but totally fine with the mix. Certainly wouldn't feel a need to remix this one. I have some thoughts about Learn to Be Happy for next week, but
yeah, same for me. For this song, I will actually go with actually happy. I would not change a thing on the song. Live, if I were redoing it, if I was forced to redo it today, it would actually be a re-record. Those are my only two options. Okay. I would not go with remix or remaster. I would go with re-record just to draw out the song a little bit longer and add in longer delay trails and reverb trails, just to make it what we do live and a little more epic. But honestly, I wouldn't fucking touch it. It's fine. If you could make only one change to the song, what would you change? That's mine. I would make it longer. I would make the pauses between more. Is there anything? Figure out a way to get people to shit themselves.
Yes, we'll say that because, I suffer from chronic constipation with IBS. And if this was the solution to that problem and I could just play this every morning and I'd have my nice, good dump, that would be a win. So, yes, we'll say that is my change to this song.
This was the only failure of the song is it didn't get people to shit themselves.
Not.
So we have to go back and figure it out.
All right.
Has technology
advanced? A new type of subwoofer that can go below 20 hertz and a new type of recording medium.
Or maybe technology
so that we can get below that.
I think we could probably just put some kind of I'm sure there's probably just an app we can buy now that'll put it into that frequency to make people shit themselves. I'm sure we can just there's a preset, make people shit their pants preset we can just click on.
Yeah, we'll record it in DSD, Direct Stream Digital, which is a 1-bit floating point sampled, hundreds of thousands of times per second, so we can get those really low notes. And we just have to have a system with that type of converter on the output to play it through our custom sub, and then we'll be shitting left and right.
Is the song too long for Jaime?
No.
At 1 minute, 15 seconds. Yes.
Nope.
We did it. We did
it. I was listening to this, oh, come on, where's the drums? Where's the drums? It's just the right build-up for me, knowing what's coming.
This question I actually looked at this morning, and I actually am struggling with. Who am I ripping off in this song?
What do you think?
This is where this podcast gets tough for me, because I'm going to say shit that people are going to roll their eyes at. I think this was just an artistic expression. I don't recall hearing this from anybody else and going, oh, we got to do that. I just was building off of, okay, we have to have an intro track because I like intro tracks. It can't be instrumental. And then I remember thinking it'd be funny if we have a thing called, because the last time we just didn't put anything, it was just a blank space. So what would be the natural progression? This is not a song. Okay, what are the words to this is not a song? It can't be a song then, so it can only be one note. So I really feel like it was just a pure writing exercise.
Yeah, and nothing came to mind for me in terms of a comparable for it, and it feels quintessentially Darling Waste to me. So
yeah, and I will. This is where from here on out, folks, get ready to roll your eyes at me a lot as I get real precious about shit. But
that's okay. Death of the Dreaming is coming up, and even though I have a soft spot for those songs and that recording process, I know we're going to also have a lot of. But if only we had done, or if only this sounded this way. So we're going to go back to it. Don't worry.
I think that this song is quintessential Darling Waste because of your production. I think this is the beginning of where your production starts kicking ass. And I think our later albums really suffer because I didn't work with you as much and you don't get the weirdness. And it's not even the weirdness. It's your willingness to sit for 2 days to get 6 seconds of static or whatever it is that you think there has to be.
I will still say I love my breathing solo on that Death of the Dreaming track. And just weird shit. And I'm glad, I appreciate that you appreciate it. It's fun that you gave me opportunities on your music to be creative and that you also trusted our friendship enough to say no to my stuff, which is great. I have no problem with that.
Well, I also think, and I don't know if this is how you are outside of working with me. This is how I am all the time. You're the only person that I've met, I think, in my life where we could just go 24 hours in a studio and eat a pizza and keep going. And that's how I've always been. I have always worked by myself in a room full of sleeping people because it's hour 17 of this recording session and I'm going to nail this down and I'm not going to stop till it's done. You're the only other person I know that has that insane energy in a studio that just never ever stops.
As long as you feed me and I get 9 hours of sleep every night, the other, however many hours, 15 hours is all yours in the studio.
And I think some albums we pretty much recorded because of our different sleep schedules. We pretty much recording the album around the clock.
Oh, there were absolutely times where I was sleeping and you were finishing stuff up and then you'd go to bed and I'd be up in the morning editing. And
yeah, because I remember there was a time, I don't recall which album it was, but there was a time in your basement in Rochester, so probably I Am Born, where you would go to bed and I would try things and experiment all night. And then you would come and relieve me and I'd be like, here's the weird shit that I did. I'm going to bed. And then you would mold the weird shit for 6 hours. And then I'd get up and then we'd start working again and building on it. So
absolutely. And that was definitely I Am Born because with Good and Bad Angels, any recording that you did on your own and sent me tracks, and I did stuff and sent you tracks. Like, it was our first real not together collaboration.
Because you weren't on a boat in the English Sea.
It was not for good and bad reasons.
Yeah. But yeah, no, for sure. Okay. Have we played it live? Yes. How it was received? Yes, we did that. Okay. I think we are on to our classic segment that only our podcast does and no other podcast do. And if they do, they're ripping it off.
We are so innovative.
Recommendations. Do you have any recommendations this week?
Oh gosh, I forgot to prepare this. So let me see what I can.
I'll go first.
Okay.
If you would like, because I don't have anything great either, but I did at least think about it. I am going to tell everyone that I am just Lance Waste on chess.com. And if you want to play me in chess, you can play me in chess at chess.com. I have played, I think, 86 days in a row now. I am not great. I'm in the so there's a thing called an ELO. Everyone says ELO. It is not ELO. It's not an acronym. It's just the word ELO. And that is the point system they provide to people. And it basically goes from 100. Oh, shit, I just started a game. Fuck, I didn't mean to do that. Let me bail out of this. I did not mean to do that. Sorry, abort. Yes, sorry, bud. I just went on here and just my hand automatically clicks play when I go on to the thing. But anyway, starting at 1,000 ELO, you're able to like compete in local tournaments, and it goes from basically a 100 ELO is like, how do these pizzas move, and like grandmasters are like 2,600, 28, like maybe 32, somewhere in there. So it's a weird scale, but I am in the high 600s right now. I've been as high as 800. On average, I'm in your high 600s. If someone asked me, I'd say I'm about a 675 or so. Nice. So I'm not good at chess, but boy, I love playing it.
It's all that matters, right?
Yeah.
Some people could say that about us making music.
They're not good at it, but they enjoy it.
They really enjoy it.
I got to play with your wonderful wife, who was a good chess player. We had a lot of fun. She forgot
and
to
honestly,
move.
You're very lucky she didn't murder you, because I played Monopoly with her once, and she's not happy when people are like actual monopolists in Monopoly.
She was very close to beating me. She had a really good line. I could see what she was going for, though. And unfortunately, she wasn't paying attention to what I was doing, and she castled and put her king behind 3 pawns on the short side, didn't move one of those pawns out once I got my rook free, so all I had to do was slide in, and she had nowhere to go. So you don't make that mistake twice, though.
Listen to you talk in chess terms. That's pretty exciting.
No, I guarantee you she will never make that mistake again. Once you make that, you're like, oh, fuck me. Okay, I see now.
Yep.
And that's the important thing, right? It is losing and going, oh, okay, now I get it. Jaime, did I stall long enough for you to have something?
Yes, I decided it's a bit of a we'll see if this will work because of the schedule of when these come out. It might be a little past timeliness, but this is Shamrock Shake season.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, and so as always, I get my first Shamrock Shake, and I text my good friend Sandy. Hey, Sandy, text her a picture of me eating my first Shamrock Shake, and she texts me back a picture of her eating her first Shamrock Shake. So please go out there and support your local Shamrock Shake.
Yes, absolutely. That's I've heard McDonald's is struggling. We all need you now more than ever.
It's true. They will write songs about this. There will be big concerts to raise funds.
It all turned around once the Insignificants podcast shined a light on the little McDonald's corporation.
Somebody's got to be looking out for the little guy, and if not us, who?
Exactly. Next week, we jump in to Learn to Be Happy. So you might get a little bit of me criticizing a song. Then after that, man, if you're into me critiquing songs, take like 7-8 weeks off, because the next couple of months is me going, fuck, I'm good. So,
we sort of nailed it.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. All right, cool. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Anything else for the people before we go?
I'm good. So good hanging with you.
Awesome. All right. I'll talk to you next week. Love you. Have a great week.
Love you. Take care.
Yep. Bye.